All right, Brew Crew, welcome back to another trade update. I was going to do a portfolio review this week, but there honestly wouldn't be much to cover as it's really just the SPY Butterfly that I shared out this past week that's in the sheet, and I had already discussed that in detail a few days ago. But for today, I wanted to talk about the trade that I shared out yesterday, and that is a 132, 169, 172, 185 call Butterfly in IWM, expiring this coming Friday, October 16th, which was put on for a 1 cent credit. So let's talk about that. On Friday around 8:45 a.m. Pacific, when news came out that the stimulus bill was basically going to happen, the markets began to lift in general. Obviously, this is good news, I'm thinking, probably along with most others, that the markets are just going to drift higher next week. One thing I did notice is that after the news came out, the markets didn't really surge hard to the upside. Instead, it kind of just drifted higher on a slow tempo. This is the 5-minute chart of IWM. As you can see, this candle is where news came out about the stimulus. Now, I don't know about you guys, but watching how the markets reacted to the news intraday, I noticed that the tempo remained pretty slow in general. So when I saw that, I decided that while my bias was still bullish, any upwards momentum that the market might have in the near future might just be a slow drift higher. So you know what that means? I immediately began to look for my favorite types of setups like call ratios or butterflies that would allow me to capture what I think is going to be a slow drift higher to the upside. And I love these types of setups because I can essentially put them on without coughing up a large debit, meaning if I'm wrong on direction, I don't lose a lot. But just how far to the upside? Where should I place that butterfly? Well, look at the chart of IWM, zooming out to the weekly time frame. We could see that this major trendline resistance is actually the trendline resistance connected from all the way back from 2018 to early 2020. And extrapolating this to the next week would put IWM at around 169. So I know I wanted something around 169, and this might be a long shot, but honestly, it could happen, especially since IWM moved 9 points this past week. Now, when I looked at the option chain at the time, I saw that the 169, 172, 185, 132 Butterfly was trading for super cheap, a 1 cent credit. And I thought that the structure might be good because a 3-point wide distance on the closer wing would be decent enough on a stock like this, even better than the SPY Butterfly from earlier this week. Now, if IWM does gun for the highs early on in the week, then maybe I might need to adjust the spread a bit because the 3 short calls will be working quite hard against me early on in the trade with all of that extrinsic value still left. But IWM probably won't move that high by Monday or Tuesday, and by then I think the 172 calls will remain relatively cheap still. If I really need to, I'll just buy the 173 calls to cap off the risk, which would hopefully be pretty cheap by then, but I'll have to wait and see how IWM responds to that trendline resistance at 169 first. But anyway, this is one of our plays for this coming week, the ideal scenario being a slow drift higher towards that 169 level. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not paying a debit for this trade because as always, the market has been known to, especially now, make wild swings and juke everybody out. So the less I pay for a directional bet, the better. If IWM tanks, no harm, no foul. Overall, for next week, a lot of us in the chat room have upside plays on Apple and Amazon. Again, our bias is bullish. You've got the ES clearing that 61.8 retracement, NQ almost there. And in both, you've got a nice inverted head and shoulders pattern that's resolving. All right, but that is it for today. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and check out the links in the description to our Twitter and most importantly, our Discord chat room, where we share only the highest quality setups and focus a lot more on managing those high quality trades. All right, so come check us out. It's all free in the chat room. But for now, stay safe, Brew Crew, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.